Hey, Robert.
What's up, man?
Is it you who plays the piano, Robert?
You know, I got a killer deal on that like 20 years ago on Craigslist. Somebody just wanted it gone. It's all beat up on the outside, sun damage, inside pristine. And every once in a while I get it tuned and it's just there in case the kid wants to use it. Like seriously, I got it for like $50 or something like that.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it
It,
was
it looks
ridiculous
old.
deal.
It looks very nice.
Oh yeah, I mean it just works, Of course, this is on top of the garage, so they had to do crazy unnatural things to get it in this room. But I didn't do it. Somebody else did it.
Hello there.
Hey, Emil.
Hey,
Long time no see. Due to my absence, no absence.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
I will need to leave half past, just so you know. If that's okay.
Yeah. And Mark wrote in the channel that he has a conflicting meeting, so he will join maybe 15-20 minutes late. Hello, Alan. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I would say let's give it another minute or two to see if we have more people joining, and then we get started.
Yeah.
See. Well, it's 4 past, so I think maybe we should get started, and maybe more people will join along the way. So welcome everyone to the TOC meeting. Today is November the 21st. My name is Andrea Frittoli from IBM, and I shared the link to these notes in the meeting chat. Let me do it again in case anyone does not have them handy. Yeah, as usual, I put a couple of things on the agenda for today. But if you have other topics you would like to discuss, please add them to the agenda or bring them up as we go. First thing I wanted to mention, Roxanne reached out to me. She's working on a page with a project communication map that we discussed in the past. And so the idea is to have like a page on our CD Foundation website with links to relevant information about all the project. We have this GitHub issue here with data from the various projects. So there are a couple still missing, Jenkins, and Screwdriver. Alan, sorry to picking you. If you have a chance maybe to give to provide this information for the Screwdriver project, it would be great. So then Roxanne can include it in the page as well. So thanks for that. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention that I found out about this tools that CNCF set up, CLO Monitor and CLO Tributor, whatever how you pronounce it. And I found them useful, so I asked CDF to be included. But yeah, so please let me know, have a look. So the CLO Monitor basically runs a number of checks based on different characteristic of the project. So it builds a nice overview of the different project, how they're doing in terms of documentation, license, best practices, and so forth. And there is some configuration, I believe, it can be done to make sure that these numbers reflect the actual project status. But I think in general, we already, as we are today, we are quite green, yellow, so it looked quite good. Yes, except for Cursia, which is archived. But yeah, so I think this is a very nice tool, and I would recommend to share it also with the projects, and hopefully we can work to make sure that all of these are green. I think in many cases it might be just the tool not matching, not finding the right information, because I think we have quite good practices implemented in the various projects. Yeah, but I thought this would be a nice thing to have. And the other one is, it's just like this, it basically shows different contribution to different repos, and yeah, allows some filtering. Yeah. All right.
Is there a contact that we use to get things updated?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I worked with Sergio Castaño Ortega from the CNCF. I basically then put in contact with him on the CNCF Slack. In terms of, but there is this configuration file that is used for the CLO monitor, where the configuration for different projects are set up. So I think we could simply set up a PR if we need to make a change.
Oh, got it. Perfect.
But yeah, so let me put the name of the person. So if you have questions, I've not tried to do that yet, so this is pretty recent. So let me put the name.
Cause I think like on the Persia one, we should just remove that from that configuration file since it's been archived.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Okay, I'll take a look at that configuration file, see what we need to do.
Thanks for that. And Sergio or Sergio, I'm not sure, also mentioned that there is a V2 in beta, a V2 version of the landscape tools, and that he set up the CDF landscape using that as well. That I didn't know it was there, but it basically looks like that is. It's a new format, same based on the same content basically, and they have this stats page as well with different list of projects, list of member repositories, some data. Yeah, so
cool.
Yeah, so I'll if people in general like this kind of tools, what we can do, I can work with Roxanne maybe to make sure we have links somewhere on our website for people to discover them. I don't hear a no, so I go ahead and do that and share. So I'm not sure. I need to check with Sergio for the landscape V2. This is beta, so I'm not sure we should update yet. I'll just check with him. What are they doing on CNCF side? Yeah, but yeah, if this is stable enough, we could also adopt the new version.
Yeah, I'm good with going to the new version. You know, we'll be daring.
So, sorry, regarding the landscape there, is it just a look and feel difference, or is it some difference in more core structure or anything else, or is it just the look of it?
It's just the look, the data that this is built upon is the same. I don't remember if we had this kind of stats page though in the original landscape.
No, I don't think the stats were there at all.
Yeah.
And they may have fixed some of the sizing issues because of everything getting crowded so quickly.
Right. Right. The only thing is, okay, one can zoom in. There is still the card view, similar to the old one, but reworked. Yeah. I mean, this is a bit more readable to me. I guess maybe it's harder to snapshot the whole landscape in one go as it was possible in the past, but yeah, should still be possible maybe on a larger screen. Or some, no. Okay. All right. Anything else on this?
Just one quick thing, Andre. Where was that repo that you had the configuration file for the CL monitor? Was it under?
It's on the CNCF side.
Okay, got it.
So the link is here in the notes.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's possible to have it on CDF side. I can ask. I also thought about this.
It looks like it's being run as you could run it as a Docker container. So we could host it ourselves somewhere, but if somebody else is doing it, one less thing we have to worry about.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. The next thing I added here, just a reminder if folks are interested. There's going to be testing and continuous delivery room at FOSDEM next year, and the CFP is open until December. So I put a link here if folks are interested in submitting to that or resharing it. It's usually a nice conference to be. And the other thing I wanted to mention, CDCon 2024 will be collocated to the Open Source Summit North America in Seattle. So I put the link here to the website, and I had a chat with Roxanne. She is going to announce the program committee after Thanksgiving. We had the same list of topics that we had in the CDCon mini summit in Bilbao. I just wanted to bring it up today to give folks some time to prepare if they have questions, ideas, or proposals. We can maybe discuss them in the next meeting. So I think Roxanne is working on a document with all the information about the event, and maybe we can get some of our questions or ideas to her, so we can collaborate with the program committee if there are things that we want to suggest or recommend. Okay. Yeah, really the last thing, almost the last thing I had on the agenda was discussing about the planning for the upcoming meetings, because we have the holiday seasons coming up, and so we might want to maybe cancel some of the meetings. At least I will be on PTO on December the 19th and January the 2nd, but I will be there on December the 5th. Although, actually I will be in Japan during that day, so I need to check what time this will be, but I should be able to join, I assume. And I will be available also on January the 16th. So, yeah, I don't know what people think. I would propose to cancel at least January the 2nd. But if folks would like to keep the meeting and then are available, that's also a possibility.
I guess regarding December 5th, I guess you would be sleeping when it's time for this meeting, right? It would be more or less midnight, or maybe even less later in Japan.
Yeah, 12 p.m. Right, this would be 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Can certainly host on the 5th if you need me to, and if people still want to meet on the 5th.
Yeah, I'm flexible either way. If we want to do the 5th and then jump to the 16th, that's fine with me. So do December 5th would be the last one for the year, and then pick up January 16th for our first one of the new year.
That works well for me as well.
I think it just gives everybody a chance to settle in back into the swing of things. So if Melissa, if you could handle the 5th, I think that'd be awesome.
Yep, I can do it.
Thanks, Melissa. All right, so I will send the cancellation then for the December 19th and January 2nd meetings. Yeah. All right. I didn't really have anything specific in terms of project updates or roadmap to discuss. Unless folks have any updates they would like to share on projects.
If it's okay to propose topics for future agendas, I'd like to be on that January 16th meeting for a Jenkins project report, if that's okay. There's some things happening there that I think might be interesting to the larger group, to other projects in terms of some techniques we're using.
Absolutely.
I'm not ready to do it today, definitely not, but by January 16, and I think that will give us enough time to have evolved some of the things we're doing that they could be reusable by others, and somewhat portable.
Sounds great. So thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, we had a table here in the top. Can
Thanks very much.
you? All right. The only other thing I noticed that someone posted on the general channel on the Slack a link to a dbt blog post, which dbt is a tool for automation of data pipeline. Yeah, so I was wondering whether anyone in this group is involved with MLOps, or know where MLOps community usually hang around, or there is some space for having MLOps discussion happening within the Continuous Delivery Foundation. I know
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, gang, this is just a different stack. Same problem. How do I get stuff from here to there?
Well, it's actually interesting, MLOps, because there is a supply chain issue around the data models being corrupted. So it goes to the next level beyond the DevOps that we know of today. We have to deal with the data side as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's slightly different. Yes, there's subtle differences, not so subtle differences. But at the end of the day, take it from here to move it over there. Yes, there's going to be challenges, but I think there's an opportunity for CDF to really be a part of this conversation, especially if there's open source projects around this space. MLOps hasn't really found a home. And our other folks that are kind of dancing around this space, like certainly Dora, they haven't even looked at this. That's cool. But to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. There's a place for us here. And if y'all have got, examples of open source projects that we can help and support and bring into the fold, more the merrier. Steve, is that in alignment with where your head was at?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll do some. You can put an action item for me and Andrea for me to poke around and see what other organizations exist or groups or SIGs or whatever. And figure out what they're doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's using existing CI/CD tools for this stuff and ramming it in.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. There is an opportunity.
Lord knows
there.
I'd do that. I'm like, hey, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes
But
from,
Jenkins could do it.
yep. You know, the PyTorch and the TensorFlow side of things. So those are CNCF projects. So there may be something living over there that we may
Well-
not have to have our own working group, but be able to point people to the right direction.
Well, gang, look, thanks for bringing up PyTorch. Look, I know with the transition from Meta over to LF with PyTorch, that's a really expensive CI/CD process they have with cloud credits. And when LF got the budget for that, how much to spend, they're like, what? You buy the house. Nah, I'll buy the house. I don't need an inspection. Whoops. And so maybe that's an opportunity for CDF to help out and drive some of those costs down.
Definitely.
So just being, look, just having CDF and our projects helping out with this space ain't bad.
Very true.
So is there an interest in the group here on infra spend savings? Because that might be a topic that the Jenkins project would be willing to share on. We've had some infra cost reduction initiatives that have been quite successful, and one more running by end of January, we think will be yet again another success story. Is this group interested in those kind of stories? Or is that not appropriate for this group and I should go somewhere else with those kind of stories?
I would say that makes for a perfect blog. So it looks like you have your homework over Christmas.
Right. And we will certainly blog them. Absolutely. So that is for sure a thing we'll do.
Because, that type of case study, just figuring out, you flip this switch and all of a sudden you reduce your cost by 50%. Right. It's amazing that things like that just get overlooked so easily.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Thanks.
But definitely, yes, that I think would be interesting. So as a CDF, we'll have to find ways to reduce the costs, the infrastructure spending of various projects within the CDF, I think. So
I'd recommend, gang, look, if y'all want to help out over there, show up at their TOC, their SIGs. Because they're just looking at a big number and they're like focusing on how do we cover this, but nobody's really looked into how do we get this down. Things are a little opaque because the handoff is in flight. But if y'all want to get involved, if this would be a great opportunity for an open source project to just kind of see what they're doing and get better. But nature of the project, they're using a lot of GPUs for testing. So just kind of
good luck with cost reducing that. Spot instances on GPU may not be available, et cetera, all sorts of interesting challenges with the dedicated processing that they have to do and enormous bandwidth, et cetera. Yep.
But if whoever cracks the code on this is going to be a hero. So it's an opportunity. I've been messing around with it. I'm building my universal Lego sorter. And yes, I will be open sourcing that model.
As long as I get a free robot with it, I'll be playing with it.
Yeah, the stuff I've seen online, the videos are like, it's black magic, like dump a bunch of Legos into a machine with a camera. And it's like, oh, you're this kind. You're this kind. Like, holy crap, that's amazing.
Well, guys, I gotta drop for another meeting.
It's nice to see you, Steve.
We'll see you.
I gotta go too. We're actually meeting the guys from Fidelity on some integration with Artilius on their evidence store.
Oh, good.
Tell them we said hello and wish
We
them the
will.
best.
We will.
Make sure they're
Bye.
watching
Alright.
my money.
Okay, mine too.
Yeah, word.
Bye, Tracy. But I think also we are at the end of the agenda, unless anyone else has anything they would like to bring up, I guess.
Yeah,
Give you
how
about
are we
30
doing
minutes.
on real quick?
Yeah.
How can we find out? Obviously we're very budget conscious right now in CDF. How do we find out as TOC how we're tracking on cloud credits? I don't like the idea of just leaving it up to the projects. I want us to be proactive. And it'd be really nice to, if we could get some, as a TOC, get some reporting on
So
that.
what sort of,
Mark, I know y'all are kicking ass over in Jenkins.
well,
with
but
getting-
I'm curious, could you explain what sorts of information you need, Robert? So I'm happy to share even here, but what sorts of information will help you?
Oh, just that it's trending down and to the right. That utilization of, credit costs or cloud costs are going down. I mean, of course, we want to, support our projects. Not just getting them credits, but also helping them use those credits the best way. And being able to highlight, like for Jenkins, I know y'all have done, like Mark, y'all have done so much work on this and huge improvement. We're talking about blogs. Maybe if we could talk about it, like this was our spend, we dropped our spend down, to this amount, this is how we've done it. Positive examples for the other projects.
Sure, and happy to do that. Happy to consider. I mean, we can do blogs, we can do live stream webinars, we can do whatever to tell the story and talk next steps. Absolutely.
I just want to make sure, because that's kind of existential threat to CDF right now, budget. And so if we are doing what we do, because we've got a huge amount of resources on the TOC willing to jump in and help out. There's some, the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. So Jenkins doing great on lowering those costs. How are we doing over on Spinnaker? How are we doing at our other places that are incurring a lot of costs? And are we doing what we need to do on the TOC for technical oversight? Are we helping them? I don't want this to be a tell. I want this to be a help. And I'm just trying to figure out where we can rally and, so getting that information. Did I answer your question, Mark? I feel like I'm dancing around and being weaselly.
Well, so just trying to, so what I think what you're envisioning is some sort of a cloud spend health report from the places that CDF currently funds, and the current funds, as far as I understand it, go to Jenkins, to Spinnaker, and to a little bit to Artelius, if I remember right. And so Tecton, Andrea, you could help me on that one. Is Tecton using CDF funds for their infra or something else?
Yes, they are today. But we are seeking for cloud credits from Google to continue the funding, because it wouldn't be sustainable otherwise.
So I guess that means Tecton would also be a point of reporting and saying, hey, here are the techniques we've used that may be applicable to other projects or may not. If that's what you're looking for, Robert, that kind of thing I can certainly share. If it's rather a progress report, hey, what was the spend last month? What's the expected spend next month? That I'm a little more hesitant to share in a recorded session like this, but I'm happy to share it. It just making it publicly visible sometimes is not as comfortable. So tell me what's
Yeah.
what will help most.
I think Jenkins is in a good place. And I think Jenkins coming out and saying, look, we were here, we're now here, we're lower, and this is what we did. Never want to ask a project to share anything they're uncomfortable with. No problem.
Right.
But one positive example of how Jenkins is being good stewards of cloud consumption. All right, so that's a good story to go back when you make credit asks to say, hey, look, we're not
Right.
drunken sailors here. We got our act together.
Right. So in addition to the donation from Microsoft, very specific example, we also found ways to reduce actual costs so that we stretch the life of the Microsoft donation. And I suspect the same story would work for Tecton and GCP, telling Google, hey, we have made these steps to do improvements, and that will help your donation stretch even further.
Yes. Yeah, I'm thinking just something where, you know, you can, I think by one project standing up and saying, we're doing this, it encourages others to do that as well.
Right.
And, you know, why can't you be more like your brother? You know, that kind of thing. But also sharing how Jenkins did it. I think that's really important. So it's not just setting a positive example, but, you know, scaffolding other people's learning.
Yeah, well,
And
so I think the stories are not interesting unless we talk about the how.
Yeah.
We saved costs by just reducing usage is, well, anybody could do that. That's easy, right?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me
turn it
the easy
off.
ways. Right. I'm looking for the interesting ways, not the easy ways. Easy,
Yeah,
just stop doing that. But
yeah, you want a lower water bill? Don't wash your clothes. I mean,
right, exactly.
It's like, well, okay.
So yeah, happy to discuss that. Now, I do see a posted link to open source credit application forms. Is this to inside CDF, or is this goes straight to AWS?
Yeah, so this is what we're doing at LF, and because one of the things that AWS has asked LF is to batch our credit asks.
Okay.
And so after reInvent, the week after reInvent, I'm going to the AWS Open Source Credit and Strategy Office. Like, I think that's their name. I don't know. So this is Spot and David Nally. So we all know that. And so you know, their budget opens up in January. So for us to increase success rate, would recommend we're going and batching this up. So one of the things that, because we changed staffing and those sorts of things at CDF, is that, you know, we got kind of a part-time project manager on this. And so a lot of the responsibility for this is going to land on the projects themselves. The two things I need for me to include CDF projects on this: one, I need this form filled out for each project. So, I mean, I'm happy to consolidate into one. But two, I need a single slide that says, this is the value of the project. You know, this is what it does, the value, which this is the value for AWS, and this is the ask.
Okay, so happy to complete that, because the Jenkins project today uses, it's about 40% of our infra spend is on AWS donated by CloudBees. And we would be much benefited if AWS were willing to donate rather than relying on CloudBees' shoulders to do that. So I'm very interested in that and happy to provide a slide, happy to do presentations, happy to do whatever to persuade AWS to contribute. We have major spend on AWS that CloudBees is currently covering right now.
Yeah, there is. So if I'm looking at, for example, AWS code build. That's not backed by Jenkins, right?
No, it's not. No.
Okay. So I'm just looking at blog posts. So, you know, if I do AWS Jenkins Google search, find a bunch of stuff.
Right.
So helping AWS understand the value to AWS by supporting this open source project, this is what you get.
Mhm.
So that needs to come across, you know, the with them, right? Ain't no hippie commune. And so if we could get
Mhm.
Jenkins to do this, and certainly other ones, Spinnaker, I think it's a good, you know, that would be I think the second biggest line item for cloud spend is Spinnaker, right? So if we could get some help from them on doing this, you know, obviously we don't have a project manager to, you know, drive this like we do in other projects, other foundations. So we're going to have to push on the projects themselves. But Mark, happy to help with this and would very much like to include Jenkins in my presentation when
Yeah,
I
great.
go to AWS. So I just need this information to make the pitch, which is what you need and why AWS should care.
Great. Happy to provide it.
You know, double your ask.
Yeah, will do.
So if
Absolutely.
it's X, 2X.
Right. Got it.
Right. I mean, from technical point of view, I mean, we would be surely happy to diversify our cloud spend. I mean, today we rely on Google Cloud, but we've talked
Yeah.
before about, you know, being able to run CI on multiple clouds, also to, you know, verify portability and that there are no specific issues with doing so. So I guess
Well,
that's the kind of information that I could, you know, and
Yes.
of course, I mean, the value for AWS is like people is running workloads out of Tecton. I mean, they're running pipelines. So if we use that in our CI, we just make it easier or make sure that there are no problems when people want to run Tecton on AWS.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
that's the kind
That-
of
You just
picture
did the
that could-
slide. That was it.
Well, and Andrea is a very specific thing. I believe the CloudBees platform that was just announced that uses Tecton as its backend execution engine is running on AWS. So CloudBees has sort of a vested interest in it working well on AWS, right?
Well, and so does AWS. So
Yeah.
you know, we need to make sure that AWS understands that, you know, it's not so much. If we go in there saying like, well, CloudBees is doing this, we'd like you to do it. They're like,
No, that's not the
So?
request, right? That is no. And in fact, I understand that is certainly not how we
Yeah.
frame it. That is not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
rather that it is in AWS's best interest to assure that these open source projects are successful on AWS, right?
Yeah.
And therefore they should donate because our success leads to their success.
Word. That's it right there. And certainly, you know, Andrea's saying like, well, this works great in GCP. We're not so sure about your stuff.
Right.
You know, FOMO never hurts. And I'm very comfortable saying this in a public setting because I'm transparent to a fault. Like AWS, they know what's up.
Good.
And they just know they need to, you know, make certain that all of these super popular open source projects work great in their cloud. Easy way to do that, CI/CD.
Right.
I mean, and we're also talking, you know, mid 5 figures, right? So this is mouse nuts. If you even, you know, let's say it's 50K a year in credits, well, and a 90% margin, dude, that's $5,000. Really?
Yeah.
Like we're really not talking 50, we're talking 5. Come on.
There's oh, sorry, Robert.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that there is another way to also help that these projects are successful on AWS as well, as to support the foundation where the project lives.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm focusing on credits right now. Membership. That's another issue. Strategy for membership, just to let you know, is end user focus for right now. And the people that have, you know, tons of money going through apps that are deployed with these solutions. Yeah, they might want to have a seat at the table.
And Andrea, I'm
Yep.
sure I should be able to find the link to this set of notes so I can click on that hyperlink to the form, but I'm not finding the link. Is it in the Slack channel? I'm just failing to read it.
Meeting requests, that's where I got it.
Oh, right. Thank you. Got it. Thanks very much. It's on my calendar. Thank you.
Yeah, if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't happen.
Perfect. Thanks.
So anyway, let me know, gang. I'm happy to batch this in and throw any CDF projects in there, and you know it's near and dear to my heart.
Great.
Even though other foundations suck all the oxygen out of the room, make sure that my homies at CDF are taken care of.
All right. That's it for me. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Andrea, you good?
everyone. Yeah. But thanks,
Melissa?
Robert, for bringing this up.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, this was good.
Okay.
All right.
When am I seeing y'all again? Paris?
Hope so.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Got to get my flights. I started using Expert Flyer. Y'all use this? You can search on available mileage upgrade seats for your airline of choice. It's black magic. Like I can go in and say like, oh no, this flight has an upgrade available. I can get immediately. Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, no, I've got like, you know,
Well, Andrea, for
tools.
you could just take the channel and you know have champagne on your way there. Melissa and I gotta.
Yeah.
But then again,
Not-
coming to
not
Chicago,
really.
it was a pain. Andrea, where are you?
Yeah.
Are you near? You're outside London, right?
I'm in Cardiff. Yeah, it's like 2 hours
Oh,
now
car.
from
Okay,
London.
yeah. All right, yeah. You gotta deal with UK trains taking 27 hours, and then straight shot to Paris.
Yeah.
But then again, you get to live in Cardiff, so it kind of works out.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's 2 hours and a half to London. It's not too bad. And then there is a straight direct train to Paris. So I might actually go by train for once. Yeah, that would be nice.
You ever go on the Torchwood tour?
What is that?
It was a spin-off from Doctor Who that was based in Cardiff.
Oh, okay. No, I've not seen that.
All right, gang.
All right.
We good?
Good. Yeah, good to see you.
Yep.
All right.
Very
Well, have a good Melissa, enjoy your holiday. Andrea,
Thank you.
get to
You
work.
too.
You don't have a holiday.
No thanks for
No.
you.
No gratitude. Only US gets to have gratitude this week.
No, I'm totally ungrateful. Sorry.
Good. All right, gang.
Well,
We'll see you.
Have a good holiday, everyone. Bye.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.